Sure. So identify some common challenges that employees face regarding professionalism that you hear from leaders. Um, and how can your company address those issues and challenges?
So I struggle with the word professionalism, and I'm going to tell you why. The definition of professionalism is such a personal term. I remember when I first started in corporate America. So I've had locks for 20 plus years. And where it's commonplace now, I mean, as common as it is, you've got to have legislation like the Crown Act for people not to get discriminated against. So as common as it is, you still have issues and challenges. But I distinctly remember walking into certain spaces and questioning whether or not my hair was professional enough for other folks. But as you know, I always buck the system because for me, professionalism is a state of mind. And my definition differs totally from yours. But I used to always tell people, dress like the job you want, not the job you're in.
Yes.
And that makes sense in certain spaces. But I'm going to tell you, I don't say that now because what I said 20 years ago is not applicable now. Working in the creative space has taught me a lot. I mean, I had to make some adjustments because I was a suit and heels exec for years. Even though I was unloading grocery trucks, it was still expected that I was to wear hosiery, which made no sense. And so the definition of professionalism by visual, but not by action, never aligned. And so to walk into a space now where me and the CEO are comparing sneakers and boots and jeans and sweaters, and I can wear my graffiti jacket and some jeans and some Converse, and I can still be considered the professional,
Mm-hmm.
is why I say the definition of professionalism is something that I struggle with. I will tell you that if the definition of professionalism doesn't align with who you are for that company, that's not the company for you. And so if someone were to tell me now, hey, in order to work in this space, you have to wear a suit and you have to wear hosiery, then I would say kick rocks because that's not who I am. And so it's
Mhm.
okay to be that. I distinctly remember one particular organization I worked with where the dress code was no visible tattoos. And I always thought, what do tattoos have to do with the job that you're doing? But out of
Mm.
respect for that organization, that if that's how they operate, that's fine. That's just not the space for me because that means you don't value who I am as a person. You're more focused on my appearance. Now, that doesn't mean that I should walk into any workspace and say, take me as I am. That's not what I'm saying because the philosophy of being authentic doesn't mean I'm going to be intentional in trying to disrupt all things. It does mean that there's a balance between the two. And so
Mhm.
me being authentic means, hey, I love my locks and I will wear them with pride. Am I going to wear them sticking straight up and at multiple angles? No. Does that mean that I am not being my authentic self? No. It just means for the space that I'm in, it does not align with the culture itself. Now, I probably
Mhm.
could in the industries that I support now, but if I'm trying to get a client that's a bank, I recognize that some banks are still very traditional in how they operate. So understanding the culture you're interested in dictates what the definition of professionalism may or may not be.